It is dark now. Thank God it's dark now. This way is better. This way, I can't see them. They come out during both night and day. But night is better. So much better. Because I can't see them. Sometimes I can feel their breath. It can be hot right down the base of my neck. Or it can be cold. An icy blast that chills me to my very core. Sometimes I can hear them breathing. At first distance, a slow, even pace. Then, as they get closer, excited, panting almost. When I can feel no breath, I can always feel their presence, even when I cannot see them. I've known about their existence since I was 6. Some people call them ghosts, others, demons. I've heard the term shadow people tossed around. I refuse to accept this term. They're not people. They can't be people. People don't walk around with bleeding stumps of missing limbs and act like everything is fine. People don't have fangs for teeth and blazing red cores for eyes. People have substance. Those things have none. No, they are not people. I believe that there are thousands of them, though it has occurred to me that there could be 3 or 4 that can all change shape. Some of them appear somewhat normal, but the vast majority are horrible, terrible projections of some abomination that has long since been lost to the ages of time. It seems that every day they grow bolder. In the beginning, they were nothing more than figments of my imagination, a fairy tale that I took a little too seriously, told to me by my uncle. They would simply hang there, in the corners of my eyes, never approaching, hardly moving. It was 2 years before one approached me. It had waved one of its 4 hands, bleeding and cut wide open down the center, as if someone had taken the blade and run it down the middle of the finger to the palm in a straight line. The hand passed through me, and there was nothing to it. I let out a sigh of relief, which, as always, somehow managed to dispel the immense, gripping fear of death that every human being possesses. Since then, things have changed. They have become bolder. After that incident, I thought little of them. Maybe they were just projections of a fearful, possibly even diseased mind. A mind rent with disorder, a rotting thing, filled with the stench of decay, the pulsating of maggots just eating away. I suppose it doesn't matter in the long run. It was another stretch of time before they started moving things. I don't know how it works. I'm not a scientist. I hardly have a high school education. But I'll try to make a guess. I think they were concentrating, manifesting themselves into something more real every day. But then they started breaking things in my house. Little things, like chairs and vases. But then my cat. They progressed rapidly. They followed me everywhere I went. It was then I started to appreciate the true beauty of the night. I cannot see them at night. I can hear them, all right, but I cannot see them over my shoulder. I cannot see them breathing heavily and staring at me hungrily. Though sometimes I can see their eyes, and from those eyes I can imagine the rest. Eyes bright like the fires of hell, the drawn out breathing, enough for me to tell that it's coming from a horrid, capsized chest, bogged down with rotten waters. Had it simply been breaking things and being horrifying, I may have just left this story on a little shelf in the corner of my mind. But something happened yesterday. Something happened that made me realize that I need to share this. They killed an old woman. I saw it. I was walking outside. I walk often. I can't stand to sit still for too long without closing my eyes. She was on the opposite side of the street, and she interested me. Dare I say, she captivated me. She could see them too. She looked more frightened than I had ever seen anybody before. Her wrinkled lips moving silently in something that I had recognized only because I recited endless times myself. It's the chant of the faithful, of the damned, and of those who don't know what else to do. She never finished it a second time. The things were upon her quickly. They devoured her. It was silent. It was bloody. I had to turn away, but I simply could not. This one with blades for hands that hung crookedly, like some fucked up version of a bug's leg, started shredding her remains apart, shoving them messily into his mouth, which consisted of nothing more than gaping black chasm, the lips, cracked inhuman things, tinged red. It finally clicked that things could and would kill me. That's when I fled. I should have helped. But by the time I thought that I could, it was too late. I couldn't do anything. So I turned around and ran back inside like the coward I am. That's where I am now. I had a mental debate with myself, some inner turmoil and anguish, but I decided to share this so that somebody else knows. Oftentimes, I think back to my uncle, one who told me the story. I never saw him after that. My parents maintained that he had gone on a long vacation, which I was content to believe, until my 16th birthday party, when one of my distant cousins let it slip that he had been murdered. Torn apart, they said, limb from limb, a rosary in his hand. And I wonder why he shared the story with me. It's been some time, but I've made a rosary that's in my hand. I know the chant, Our Father who art in heaven, the whole 9 yards. I don't think I have anything more to say. If I die, somebody now will know how it came about. Over the last few minutes, the fear had really been settling in, because it's dark, but I can see them now. I can see them. Oh God, they're glowing. They're glowing. The endless fucking yellow light of sunrise. I'm posting this now. As the sun rises higher, slowly, I hope for the best, but the outlook is bleak. God, how I hate the sun. I wish I couldn't see them. It would be better if I couldn't see them. Somehow, it would be better.